Hello everyone, this is Nitin Patil. Today we are going to see how we can perform the regression in using the neural networks. We are going to solve the regression problem using the artificial neural network. For that, I'm going to execute my code in Google Colab. So I have opened Google Colab notebook and rename that notebook with the Boston dataset regression using ANN. We are going to use the Boston dataset which by default sklearn provides to us for the regression problem. And we are going to use the TensorFlow and Keras library over here. I'm going to use the TensorFlow version 2.0. I'm executing code in the Google Colab, so I'm using the magic functions. TensorFlow version 2.0.0 and import TensorFlow as TF from TensorFlow, import Keras, import pandas as PD, import as NP, import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt, and another magic function matplotlib inline. I am setting the changing the runtime to the TPU because for faster execution. If you are solving any deep learning problem, so you can set the runtime to the GPU or TPU for the faster execution. So I have imported necessary libraries. Now we are going to create a object for the Boston dataset. So from sklearn dot dataset import underscore load underscore Boston. So I'm creating the object Boston equal to Boston. Okay, object of Boston has been created. It is executing using data sets. Okay, Boston object has been created. So we are going to extract the features and the target label columns. So I'm going to extract from that Boston object x is equal to pd dot data frame Boston dot data and the columns I'm going to extract the Boston dot feature names. Okay, we can see the sample records x dot head. So these are the sample records we have extracted successfully the feature columns. So same way we will extract the label columns. Y is equal to pd dot data frame Boston dot target. I will say column name as a target. Okay. Then I will say y dot head. We will see some sample. Now we have extracted the data. Now we can see the data set which we have extracted feature columns are on different scale. You can see 0.00632, then 3.96, 396.90. These are on different scales. So we are going to apply the standard normalization on those standard scalar. So I am importing standard scalar From sklearn dot preprocessing import standard scalar. So I'm going to create an object of standard scalar. Standard scalar. So now we will apply the standard scalar to our features which we have extracted. pd dot data frame sc dot fit transform sc dot fit transform. We are going to apply x and columns equal to x dot columns. I'm creating again data frame because I need to show some data to you with the column names. Otherwise, you can just apply the sc dot fit transform and save it in x object. That is also fine. X dot date. Now you can see our data has been transformed to the standard scalar format. Now our data is ready to fit to the model. But before that, I'm going to split our data set into train test split. So I'm going to use the standard format of the train test split. I have imported train test split model and I have created X train, Y train, X test, Y test. Now you can see our data is divided. 404 records are for training and 102 for testing. Our data has been split into train and test records. Now to create a deep learning model, we need to do 3 steps. First is create a model architecture. Then second, you have to compile that model. And third one, you are going to fit that model with the actual data. So that's why the training will go on. So we are going to do the first step. To create a model architecture, I am going to import some necessary libraries. Okay. So from TensorFlow.keras, I am going to import the sequential, dense, dropout, and batch normalization. If you do not understand what is dense, dropout, batch normalization, I am going to create one more video series for the theoretical sessions. So there I will explain in detail what is dense, dropout layers. Now we will create a model is equal to sequential. Okay, I have created sequential object. Now I will add the layers. Model.add. I will add first dense layer. You can see first you have to pass the units parameter. I am passing 128 units. Then I am passing activation function. Activation function over there. Okay. Then I am adding the dropout layer. Dropout layer. For dropout layer, you just need to pass the rate. So I am saying 0.5. Okay. If you are not aware about what is activation function, in short, I will say activation function is used to introduce a non-linearity. So I will create another video for theory sessions. So I will explain in detail what is activation functions. We have different type of activation functions, ReLU, leaky ReLU. For now, you just understand in middle layers, we mostly use the ReLU. Why I will explain later. And on the final output layer, we define the activation function as per our need. Okay. So I'm going to add again 2 more layers. You can see the second dense layer will contain suppose 28 neurons and activation function is same. Dropout I am going to say 0.20 and again I am going to add one more dense layer with the 10 neurons. Now we are going to create a final output layer. So on output we need only one value per row, per input, right? So I'm going to say only one. I need only one value per row. And activation function, I'm going to say linear, because we are solving the linear regression problem. So at the final layer, we need the activation function as a linear. Okay. So this way we have created model architecture. Now the second step, we need to compile that model. So I'm going to compile that model. Model.compile. You can say optimizer you have to pass, loss function you have to pass, and matrix you have to pass. So optimizer, I will pass Adam right now. Adam, mostly we use Adam optimizer, and we will pass loss function as MSE, mean squared error, and matrices. Matrices I will pass again mean squared error. Okay, so this way we can compile our model. The second step is done. Now in third step we are going to fit the model. I'm going to create history object over here, and I will say model dot fit. Model dot fit, you have to pass x and y values. We have x train, x test, x train comma y train, and we will pass batch size equal to 10. We will pass epochs as 100. Okay, and we will pass validation split as 0.2. We are going to pass 20% of the data to the validation. We are going to pass epochs as 100. I will show what epochs is once we get the output. So training, there is some mistake. I have to eat epochs. Okay, training has been started. You can now see our data epochs has been started. It will going to finish. We will wait for some time. Okay, now it has completed 100 epochs. You can see our training has been started with the first epoch. First epoch. The first epoch validation loss is around 392, and sorry, validation loss is around 392. Validation mean square error is also 392. So same way, the training loss is this, and then training loss mean squared error is this. As the number of epochs increases, our mean squared error value is going to be decreased. Our model is improving. Model is learning something. The model, what model is learning means we are calculating the new weights and bias over there. So that's why model is improving. Now you can see validation loss is 0.28.0. You can again set the epochs to the 200 and again train the model. So how we are going to make sure that our model is improving or not. So I will show you graphically. So I already coded for the plot. I paste over there. You remember, right? We have saved an output of the model.fit to the history object. From that history object, we come to know that how our model is performing, what will be the loss, validation loss, training loss, test loss. I'm going to execute this. Now you can understand in a better way. So see, this is the validation mean squared error. This is the training mean squared error. And training and validation mean squared error are going to be decreased. So now there are again chances to get it decreased. So you can set the epochs as 200 and you can increase the epochs likewise till the training gets finished completely. Okay. Now our model is ready. I'm not going to run that more than 100 epochs. You can run So our model is getting created. Now we can predict the model. Okay, we can make the predictions. So I will say y pred equal to model dot predict x underscore. We have created x underscore test data set, right? So I am going to use that. I will show print dot y underscore print some examples. Now you can see our predictions. We can evaluate our model based on the test data. So I will say score evaluated scores is equal to model dot evaluate. We can say x underscore test comma y underscore test. I will print the score underscore eval. Now you can see on testing, we have received the 31.74 mean squared error. You can train our model more and there will be less mean squared error. Our model will improve. So that's it for the linear regression problem solving. You have to just create a model and provide the data to that. And before that, you have to apply the standard scalar, min max scalars, some techniques, features in P. So that's it for the regression problem. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.